Hello scholars, welcome to Dakshina classroom. If you remember, in the last lecture we have discussed about the purely resistive circuit. What is purely resistive circuit? In case of purely resistive circuit, there is only a resistor and a power source, there is nothing else. So in case of a purely resistive circuit, if I write E is equal to E naught sine omega t, that is my potential, then current may be written as I naught sine omega t, when I naught is nothing but E naught divided by R, where R is the resistance. We have also talked about a purely capacitive circuit. What is a purely capacitive circuit? In case of a purely capacitive circuit, there is only a capacitor, nothing else. So there, if I write EMF E is equal to E naught sine omega t, then current may be written as I naught sine of omega t plus pi by 2, like this. So in case of a purely capacitive circuit, current leads potential by pi by 2 phase. Here omega t plus pi by 2 is called phase of your current. Omega t is phase of your potential. So current leads EMF or potential by a phase of pi by 2. We had also talked about that I naught is nothing but E naught divided by 1 by omega c, like this, which can also be written as E naught divided by xc, where xc was reactance of your capacitor, or xc is equal to 1 by omega c was effective resistance of your circuit. So that what we have already studied in the previous lecture. Now, in this lecture, as you can guess, we are still left to talk about a purely inductive circuit. What is a purely inductive circuit? Meaning there is an inductor attached to a power source, nothing else. So, first topic that we will cover in today's lecture is called purely inductive circuit. Purely inductive circuit, like this. Purely inductive circuit, meaning there will be an inductor, there will be a power source, nothing else. That is purely inductive circuit. Now second thing, this is very important. Second thing that we will talk about in today's class is the vector method to find the current in any circuit, or phasor method. Sometimes it is called vector method, sometimes it is called phasor method. Both are correct. So vector method to find current. Vector method to find current in a circuit. That will be the second topic that we will cover. This will be very helpful for you to find the current in any circuit. So pause the video, note them down, then we will start with purely inductive circuit. So here we have a purely inductive circuit. There is an inductor. It is assumed that resistance of the inductor is 0. There is a connecting wires and it is assumed that connecting wires have 0 resistance. There is a power source, and power source has EMF or potential supplied as E naught sine omega t. Now let us try to find that what would be the current in this case. So current, if you want to find, first thing you need to know that what would be the potential developed or EMF induced across your inductor. So what I will write? I will write EMF induced across inductor. Now what will be EMF induced? You have already studied EMF induced in an inductor, that is minus of L di by dt. Why minus? According to Lenz's law. In accordance with Lenz's law, if current is increasing, EMF induced should try to oppose that increase in current. Now, if that is EMF induced, then what if I apply loop law in this circuit? So, let us apply Kirchhoff's loop law. Apply loop law. What you will get? EMF E naught sine omega t. And what is the EMF induced across this? Minus of L di by dt. So minus of L di by dt, like this. And this total must be equal to 0. So like this. Now what I can do? Can I write it like this? L di by dt or L di equals E naught sine omega t dt, like this. I can also write it like this, so that way. Now let's take this L other side. So di integration must be equal to E naught by L. So E naught is the maximum value of EMF, which is a constant. L, which is inductance, which is constant. So E naught by L integration sine of omega t dt, like this. Integrate, what you will get? Here you will get I. And what about this side? Sine omega t. What is the integration of sine omega t? Integration of sine omega t will be minus of 1 by omega cos omega t, because cos differentiation sine. So sine integration minus cos. So minus of E naught by omega L cos of omega t. That is your integration. So that comes out to be your current. Now cos omega t may also be written as how? Cos omega t may also be written as I is equal to minus of E naught by omega L. Cos may be written as sine of pi by 2 minus omega t. I can also write cos function is nothing but pi by 2 minus theta, that is sine of pi by 2 minus theta, like that. Very easy. Now let us pay attention. Can I take minus sign inside? If you remember, minus of sine theta is nothing but sine of minus theta, like this. So minus of sine theta is sine of minus theta. So minus I can take outside and I can reverse. So what I will get? I will get I current is nothing but E naught by omega L sine of omega t minus pi by 2, like this. What is this E naught by omega L? This is sine function. Maximum value of sine function can be 1. So this will be I equals I naught sine of omega t minus pi by 2. That would be your current in case of purely inductive circuit. So here your potential is how much? Potential is E naught sine omega t. That is the supply of potential. And what is the current you are getting? Current you are getting I is equal to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss further. So as we have seen that in case of a purely inductive circuit, if potential is written as E naught sine omega t, that is the source, then current may be written as I naught sine of omega t minus pi by 2. Here I naught is what? I naught is nothing but E naught divided by omega L. So this is maximum current. This is maximum potential. What is this? This is the working or acting like the effective resistance. So this omega L is written as XL, which is called reactance of your inductor. Reactance of inductor. And if this is the reactance of inductor, XL is called effective resistance of circuit. Why effective? Why not just resistance of circuit? Because we have assumed that this is a purely inductive circuit, and in case of a purely inductive circuit there is no resistance, and if there is no resistance, how you can write is resistance? So that is why we are saying effective resistance, because here maximum current is coming to be maximum potential divided by omega L. So omega L, which is XL, is nothing but effective resistance of your circuit. So that you can write. Now there is another very important point, that is which leads, which lags. In case of a purely capacitive circuit, we have already studied that current leads potential by pi by 2. Now here if you can see omega t minus pi by 2, which is what? Phase of current. Phase of current. Omega t minus pi by 2. What is omega t? Omega t is phase of potential. So if you talk about a purely inductive circuit like this, so if there is a purely inductive circuit as you can see here, phase of current is pi by 2 less than phase of your potential. So what you will say? Current lags the potential by pi by 2 angle. So you will write, in case of purely inductive, in case of a purely inductive circuit, current lags EMF by pi by 2 phase. So phase of current, this omega t minus pi by 2 is phase. So that you must have studied in waves. So phase of current is pi by 2 less than phase of your EMF. So current lags EMF by pi by 2 phase. In case of purely capacitive circuit, current leads EMF by pi by 2 phase. So that way you can write. Pause the video, write them down, then we will solve a question. Let us try to solve a question based on a purely inductive circuit. So here it is given that energy stored in an inductor changes from maximum to minimum in 5 milliseconds when connected to an AC source. Find the frequency of source. So if you remember, energy of an inductor is how much? Half Li square. That is the energy of an inductor. So if maximum energy, what is U maximum? Maximum will be nothing but half L I naught square, like this. What is minimum? U minimum when I is 0. So U minimum is 0. So maximum energy is when I naught, minimum energy is when 0. What is current written? Current is written as I naught sine of omega t minus of pi by 2, like this. That is current. So if current is I naught sine pi, omega t minus pi by 2, then see here, I have to go from I naught to 0. So if you remember, in case of a sinusoidal graph, from maximum to 0, how much time has passed? This is your t by 2, this is your t by 4. So going from maximum to 0 takes how much time? T by 4. So delta t must be capital T by 4. Going from maximum current to 0 current, not minimum current, because minimum current is minus I naught, but we do not want minus I naught. Why? Because minimum energy is not on minimum current. Whenever the current is minus I also, then also square will make it positive. So minimum energy is when current is 0. So we'll have to go from I naught to 0. So that is T by 4. And delta T is given how much? Delta T is given 5 millisecond. So 5 into 10 to the power minus 3 second. So your time period is how much? Time period is nothing but 2 into 10 to the power minus 2 second. Like this. And they are asking what is the frequency of the source. So frequency of the source is nothing but 1 by time period. Like this. So 1 by time period is frequency. So that is 100 divided by 2. That is 50 Hertz. So frequency of your source in this case will be how much? 50 Hertz. Pause the video, note it down, then we will solve another question. Let us try to solve another question based on your purely inductive circuit. So here, as I have told you before, that you should be able to recognize based on EMF and current then what kind of circuit it is. So here it is given that in an AC circuit, current is 2 sine omega t and the voltage is 5 cos omega t. Then what type of circuit it is? I have to find out what type of circuit it is. Now, so current is written as, or voltage, let us write voltage first. E is equal to 5 cos omega t. This is E. And current, I is nothing but twice sine omega t. Now you can do anything. Either you can convert this sine into cos, or you can convert this cos into sine. Both ways are correct. Only thing is that you have to have both either in sine or in cos. Now let us say this is cos omega t. So EMF may be written as 5 of cos theta cos theta may be written as either pi by 2 sine of pi by 2 minus theta or sine of pi by 2 plus theta. So can I write cos omega t as sine of, let us say, omega t plus pi by 2, sine of pi by 2 plus omega t, that is cos theta. So current is this and EMF is this. If you pay attention, EMF phase is omega t plus pi by 2. Current phase is omega t. So which is leading, which is lagging? Here your current is lagging the EMF by pi by 2 phase. So what you will say? You will say since current is lagging EMF by pi by 2 phase, it will be a purely inductive circuit. Now that we know what kind of circuit it is, let us try to find what is the effective resistance of the circuit. What is the effective resistance of the circuit? In case of an inductive circuit, in case of purely inductive circuit, effective resistance XL is written as omega times L. So omega, what is omega in here? Cos omega, omega is not given, so we will write as omega. But you know omega times L, that is okay. Omega is not given, L is also not given. Where is L given? L is not given. But we know one more thing. What do we know? We know that in case of purely inductive circuit, I naught, maximum current, is nothing but maximum potential divided by XL. You know that, right? So what would be XL? XL will be nothing but V naught by I naught. What is V naught? 5. 5 cos omega is the voltage, so 5 is the maximum potential. 2 is the maximum current. So 5 divided by 2. So that is how much? 2.5 ohm. So that way you can find what is the effective resistance of this circuit. Now your first intuition is, sir, XL is omega L. First intuition, XL is omega L, omega is not given, L is not given, how I will find? But you also know that I naught is V naught by XL. So XL is nothing but 5 by 2, that is 2.5 ohms. Pause the video, note it down. So let us try to understand that what is vector method to find the current in a circuit. Now here I have an AC power source, AC generator, it can be anything. Here I have connected all the three components for the sake of convenience and for the sake of derivation. So here it is a capacitor, there is an inductor, there is a resistor. So all three of them are connected across an AC power source. Now in case of vector method, sometimes it is also written as phasor method, both are correct. So it is nothing but a simpler way to find the current in an AC circuit. So for example, if I ask you what is the current in this circuit, then you will have to find a lot of differentiation, integration. Mathematically it will be very difficult. So there is an easier way, which is vector method. So what we do in case of vector method? So in case of vector method, let us start with your resistance. So in case of your purely resistive circuit, if you remember, in case of a purely resistive circuit, current was what? EMF was E naught sine omega t and current was I naught sine omega t, like this. So in case of purely resistive circuit, current and your EMF were in same phase. So what I will do is, I will represent resistance in a vector form. I will represent resistance in a vector form. Now remember, resistance is not a vector. It is not a vector. What we are doing is, for the sake of simplifying our calculation, or in order to avoid the mathematics of finding the current in this circuit, what we are doing is, we are considering current as, resistance as a vector. So resistance is shown as a vector of magnitude r, capital R along x-axis. So what I will do? I will simply represent R like this. R is shown as a vector of magnitude capital R along x-axis, that is x-axis. Now next is your, let us say, capacitor. So if you remember, in case of capacitor, what was happening? In case of a capacitor, if the EMF is written as E naught sine omega t, like this. So current was written how? I naught sine of omega t plus pi by 2. Meaning, in case of capacitance, in case of capacitor, phase of current is pi by 2 more than phase of your voltage. So let us say voltage phase is this. So phase of current in case of capacitor will be 90 degree. So XL, which is nothing but, not XL, XC. XC is nothing but 1 by omega C. That XL will be denoted as a vector of magnitude XC. So XC is the effective resistance of the capacitive circuit. So reactance of your capacitor is denoted as a vector of magnitude 1 by omega C. Along which direction? 90 degree to the resistor. Why? In case of pure resistance, both current and EMF have same phase. In case of your capacitance, current and EMF differ in phase by pi by 2. So what I will write? Here you can say reactance of capacitor is denoted by a vector of magnitude XC equals 1 by omega C along plus y axis, positive direction of y axis. So here you will say XC like this. It is not a vector. XC is not a vector, R is not a vector. Just to avoid the mathematics of finding the current, what we are doing is we are representing them as a vector. Now, so here after that, what we can say? What if in case of a purely inductive circuit? What was the case? In case of a purely inductive circuit, if you remember, E was E naught sine omega t. Then current was how much? Current was I naught sine of omega t minus of pi by 2. So in case of a purely inductive circuit, current lags behind the EMF by pi by 2 phase. So here what I will do? Reactance of inductor is shown as a vector of magnitude XL equals omega L, that you already know, along which direction? See here, R is taken, this x-axis is taken as direction of your EMF. So for the resistance, EMF and current are in the same direction. So R is taken along the x-axis. For the capacitance, EMF is this, current is 90 degree more, so y-axis. For the inductance, if this is EMF, current will be 90 degree lagging. So here I will denote XL like this, along negative y-axis. So XL will be denoted as a vector along negative y-axis. XC is denoted along the positive y-axis, and R is denoted along the positive x-axis. Why? Because your EMF is taken along x-axis. For the capacitor, it leads by pi by 2. For the inductor, current lags by pi by 2 from your EMF. Pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss it further. So here in this circuit, what we have seen is XC is shown as along positive y-axis, XL along negative, R along x-axis. Now in different books, a different method may be given, but this is the easiest way. Now, if you remember, we were talking about an effective resistance of your circuit. So in case I want to find what is the effective resistance in this case, then how I can show? Let us say this is your R, this is your XC, this is your XL. Now if I want to know the effective resistance, what would be effective resistance? So in this case, let us say XC is greater than XL. This is XL. So if XC, which is reactance of your capacitor, is greater than XL, which is the reactance of your inductor, then what I can say? I can subtract XC, I can subtract XL from XC. So what I will get? I can make it like this. Let us shorten this a little bit, and this becomes your XC minus XL, like this. Now this is the equivalent reactance of capacitor as well as inductor. Now effective resistance will be nothing but a vector sum of these two. So what you can say? Z is the impedance. Z is called impedance, which is nothing but effective resistance of circuit. Effective resistance of circuit. So this effective resistance of the circuit can be found as how? So R is taken as a vector, XC is taken as a vector, and XL is taken as a vector. So this is nothing but vector sum of XC, XL and R. Remember, they are not vector, but to avoid the mathematical conclusion, we are assuming them to be vector and solving like this. So what would be the vector sum? So let us suppose this is here your XC minus XL. So that is your Z. So Z will be nothing but this square plus this square, under root. So Z is nothing but under root of R square plus XC minus XL square. So that is your effective resistance or impedance of your circuit. So Z equals to R square plus XC minus XL square. Now, okay, pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss further. Now let us try to find out what is phase angle of the circuit or the phase of the circuit. Now we have seen that if there is RLC or any of the combinations, then R is along the x-axis and the voltage is taken along x. So for the resistance, voltage and current is in the same direction. For your capacitor, voltage is this, current is like this, 90 degree. For the XL or inductor, voltage is like this, current is downward. So minus pi by 2. So like this. And what is the effective resistance or the impedance? Z. Z can be nothing but vector sum of R, XC and XL. So like this. Now if you pay attention, Z is this. And if I talk about the angle made between effective resistance, which is Z vector, and the R vector, that will be phi here. So can I write like this? Tan phi. Tan phi is nothing but this, which is XC minus XL divided by this, which is R. So tan phi is XC minus XL divided by R, like this. So this phi, which is nothing but tan inverse of XC minus XL divided by R, this phi is called your phase angle of circuit. Phase angle of circuit. So if this is your phase angle, now if this is phase angle of the circuit, then let us suppose current. Now what was the whole purpose of doing this exercise? The whole purpose of doing everything like this was to find the current in the circuit in an easy way without having to do any mathematical equations. So here what I can say, let us say EMF is given as E is equal to E naught sine omega t, like this. This is EMF. Which direction EMF is? We have assumed EMF to be in this X direction. Now here Z is the final impedance, effective resistance, and final current will be in this direction. So here what is happening? EMF is in this direction along R and final current is in this direction along Z. So what you will say, Z is the direction of current in the circuit, R is the direction of EMF in your source. or EMF supplied by the source, potential supplied by the source. So you will say there is an angle of phi between EMF and current, and here current is leading the EMF by phi. See here, this is EMF and this is current. So current has phi angle more than EMF. So what you will say? I will be nothing but I naught, or let us say E naught by Z, because Z is the effective resistance. So I will be nothing but E naught by Z sine of, and current will have phi phase angle more than your EMF. So sine of omega t plus phi. So that will be your direction of, or that will be your equation of current, and this can also be written as I naught sine of omega t plus phi. So that is the purpose of finding what is your phase angle and finding R as a vector, XC as a vector, or XL as a vector. Pause the video, note it down, then we will try to verify. You see, for the purely capacitive circuit, for the purely inductive circuit, or for purely resistive circuit, we have already found your current in the form of your EMF, voltage and current using the mathematical equation. Now pause the video, note it down. After that, we will try to find using this simpler method, and we will see whether both the results, that is mathematical result and vector method result, are matching or not. Now let us try to verify our result obtained from vector method using three kind of circuit: purely resistive, purely capacitive, and purely inductive. Now for all the three circuits, we have already used mathematical method to find the current. Now let us try vector method and see whether they are same or not. Now in case of a purely resistive circuit, so in case of a purely resistive circuit, you will say what? Sir, tan phi, or you say, sir, R is here, XC is 0, XL is 0. So tan phi will be equal to 0 divided by R, like this, because XC is 0, XL is 0. So tan phi is 0 by R. So if tan phi is 0, then what is the value of phase angle phi? Phi is also is 0. Tan 0 is 0, so phi is also 0. Now if phi is 0, what you know? EMF is written as E naught sine omega t, and current is written as I naught sine of omega t plus phi. And what is phi here? Phi is 0. So omega t. If you remember, this is the same result which we had obtained from the mathematical way, applying loop law. So this verifies that our phasor method or vector method of finding current works for a purely resistive circuit. Now let us talk about a purely capacitive circuit. In case of a purely capacitive circuit, there is no resistance. So this is x-axis. So there is no resistance. But XC is there, which is here. Now what about tan phi? Tan phi is nothing but XC. XL is 0 divided by R. And in case of a purely capacitive circuit, there is no resistance. So R is also 0. Tan phi is 0. For what value tan phi is 0? Tan phi, no, not 0. Tan phi is not 0. Tan phi is your infinity or not defined. Not defined or infinity, both you can say. Generally you say that, sir, not defined. Not defined. Okay. So that means your phi angle is how much? Phi angle is pi by 2, like this. So here if phi is pi by 2, then what you can say? What is the current? If EMF is E naught sine of omega t, because you see here x is here and this is 0. So this is your phi, which is pi by 2. Now if EMF is this, then current is written as how? I naught sine of omega t plus phi. Omega t plus phi. And what is phi? Phi is nothing but pi by 2. So here current has more pi by 2 phase than your EMF. Current leads EMF by pi by 2. That is the same result which we had obtained using the mathematical way. So this works. And here I naught will be what? I naught is nothing but E naught divided by Z. And what is Z? Under root of R square plus XC minus XL square. So R is 0, XL is 0. So Z is nothing but X times C. So here you can say I naught is nothing but E naught divided by XC, which is nothing but E naught omega C. And if you remember, this is the same value as we had obtained using the mathematical equation. So this phasor method also works for purely capacitive circuits. Now let us try to verify for purely inductive circuit. What about purely inductive circuit? In case of purely inductive circuit, there is no resistance. So x-axis like this, and here XL is shown like this. So this is your phase angle. So tan phi is nothing but 0 minus of XL divided by R, and R is what? 0. So that is minus of infinity. Minus infinity goes when phi is equal to minus pi by 2, like this. So if phi is minus pi by 2, how you will write the equations? If EMF is given as E naught sine omega t, then how the current will be written? Current will be written as I naught sine of omega t plus phi. And what is the value of phi here? Minus pi by 2. So minus of pi by 2, like this. So as you can see, current lags the EMF by pi by 2, which is the same equation which we had obtained using mathematical form. And here I naught is what? I naught is nothing but your E naught divided by Z. And in this case, since there is only an inductor, Z is nothing but X times L, which is omega L. So I is nothing but E naught divided by omega times L. And that is the same value as we had obtained using the mathematical forms. So here we have verified in purely resistive, purely capacitive and purely inductive circuits that our phasor method or vector method of finding the current works. Even if R, XC and XL, they are not vector. They are just treated as vectors in order to avoid the mathematical calculations of finding the current. Pause the video, note them down.